It took quite a long time, but finally Descendants 4 has been officially announced in the form of the royal we're hoping for, and which villain kids are coming back. To help us find the answers to these questions, let's quickly examine the franchise's promising history.
You didn't think this was the end of the story, did you?
The Descendants' unstoppable success. The original Descendants was the brainchild of Joanne McGibbon and Sarah Periot. Directed by Kenny Ortega in 2015, it immediately became a media hit for Disney Channel. The movie featured descendants of powerful Disney dynasties living in the United States of Aradon. The primary characters in the series were Mal, Levy, Carlos, Jay, and Ben. The premiere was watched by over 6 million viewers, making it the most watched broadcast in 2015.
It's all about world domination.
And that was after being viewed over 1 million times on the Disney Now app. And why should we be surprised? After all, a Disney Channel original movie with energetic protagonists in an action comedy on the Isle of the Lost, how could it not be a hit? The young charismatic stars immediately connected not just with the intended audience of preteens, but found traction also among older teens and adults, and never looked back. The Descendants starred Dove Cameron, Cameron Boyce, Sophia Carson, and Boo Boo Stewart as children of Disney villains on the Isle of the Lost. In addition to attracting a huge audience, the movie original soundtrack peaked at #1 in the United States.
A dirty no good, down to the bone, your worst nightmare.
Rock on! Clearly, the kids did all right. And Disney greenlit the production of Descendants 2 in 2017. The sequel premiered on multiple networks, including ABC, Disney Channel, Disney XD, Freeform, Lifetime, and Lifetime Movies. The combined audience pulled in over 5 million viewers on Disney Channel, and over 8 million on all the networks combined. The show's stars still sparkled, and their adventures kept a broad audience engaged. Once again, the original musical soundtrack did very well, peaking at #6 in the charts. So with all the success of The Descendants and Descendants 2, what did you suppose would happen next? That brings us to Descendants 3. The premiere of Descendants 3 in 2019 attracted over 4 million viewers, still very respectable. The primary stars continued in their adventures, learning life's ropes and understanding each other. The storyline introducing Hades as Mel's father resonated well with the fan base, and the production values were higher than ever. The original soundtrack peaked at #7. At this point, I know what you were thinking. Extremely successful productions that consistently generated great numbers. How could there not be a Descendants 4 following the live-action tradition? I mean, come on, man, this is Hollywood, the original cookie-cutter industry. If one works, then keep churning them out until one doesn't. But they all did. So why is the 4th chapter in the series going to be animated? Why should such a successful franchise with energetic, charismatic stars and inspirational music not schedule production of the next live-action chapter following the previous proven formula? Let's examine some possible factors on why the production of Descendants 4 has been jeopardized for years, and why they ended up choosing to go with an animated movie. Tragedy and confusion. Let's address the elephant in the room. The unexpected passing of Cameron Boyce, who, as you all know, played Carlos, threw a wrench into the franchise's future. Carlos was a much beloved leading character, and his tragic death left the series' continuation in doubt. In case you haven't noticed, the traditional ending line of the first 2 Descendants, "You didn't think this was the end of the story, did you?" was left out at the end of Descendants 3. It was never fully understood if this omission was a direct consequence of Cameron's death or not, but it certainly could be construed as a foretelling of the future of the franchise. Fans' reaction was quick and decisive, that a 4th Descendants should not be made. The feeling was, it would not be right to make a Descendants 4. No Carlos, no party. Besides, some of the stars of the saga sent out indicators that Descendants 3 may be their last Disney show. Dove Cameron, who portrayed Mal, stated in the past she recorded her last Descendants song. She added she found it bittersweet to have completed her last and most rewarding Descendants recording session. Sophia Carson, who played Evie, said she could not imagine continuing with the franchise without Cameron Boyce. On the other hand, the actor who portrayed Ben was on the record stating Descendants 4 could be on the horizon and wanted to be part of it. The irony of Mitchell Hope keeping the hope alive for Descendants 4 is not lost on me. The Descendants musical. It has been nearly 2 years since the premiere of Descendants 3. This was the last Descendants chapter to be produced by Disney Channel, but in the meantime, Descendants was adapted for stage productions in 2020, with licensing available through Music Theater International, in partnership with Disney Theatrical Productions. The musical is based upon a mixture of all 3 Descendants movie plots. The director of the Descendants musical was the same director for the Descendants films, Kenny Ortega. Dove Cameron was a featured performer, reprising her role as Mal, along with Kristen Chenoweth and Cheyenne Jackson, returning respectively as Maleficent and Hades. Closely following the Descendants series, the musical still was not the franchise continuation the fans had been waiting for, but at least it kept the hope alive. The right time for Descendants 4. Many ardent fans hope to see Descendants 4. However, some fans believe it would be wrong to make a Descendants 4 with the passing of Cameron Boyce, since the beloved Carlos would not be the same if portrayed by another actor. Many of the leading actors also had some reservations about the series continuing. The pain is still there for many of Cameron's co-stars.
You are all I can think about. I'm broken for you.
But the wounds have healed somewhat. Some of the protagonists became enamored with their characters and wished to continue. Others were confused as to their emotions and were not sure of the proper way forward. The emotions ran strong for a long while, uncertainty and perhaps guilt about continuing on the series without Cameron. But, as with many things, time heals wounds, and the timing may be right for Descendants 4 to finally see the light of day. But in what form? Today, it's possible with CGI and strategic shots of stand-ins to gracefully incorporate Carlos into a live-action version of Descendants 4. Creative visionary work, blended with Cameron's voice, could successfully bring Carlos to life in the next installment. But would this be acceptable to the legion of Descendants fans? And more importantly, would it be fair to Cameron's family? Just imagine seeing a family member you tragically lost suddenly coming back to life on the big screen as if nothing happened. That doesn't seem very respectful, nor in good taste. Acknowledging his absence in the fictional world of Auradon seems like a much more graceful way to honor Cameron and the character of Carlos. And rumor has it that this is the route Kenny Ortega and Disney are going to take. But let's say they decide to go for a Carlos cameo to give closure to his character's storyline. Doing it in an animated environment sounds way better and more respectful. And this might be another of the reasons why the royal wedding has not been shot in live action. Which villain kids are coming back? Obviously, you can't have a Descendants 4 without the villain kids. So let's take a look at what the original VKs have been doing since Descendants 3 wrapped, and which of them are set to return for the royal wedding. Dove Cameron. Mal. She portrayed Mal, the daughter of Maleficent, and reprised the role in each of the Descendants movies. Dove also sang on many of the award-winning Descendants soundtracks. Before starring in The Descendants, she appeared in the Disney Channel original movie Cloud 9, released in 2014. The success of her starring role as Kayla Morgan led her to be signed by the Disney Channel for the live series Liv and Maddie in 2013. She was nominated for Teen Choice Awards for Liv and Maddie in 2014 and 2015. Her star was rising and led to landing the role of Mal in the new Disney Channel movie The Descendants in 2015. Her strong character portrayal of Mal assured the role would continue in the following 2 installments of the series. After wrapping Descendants 3, the project looked cloudy and uncertain for the franchise, so she focused on new projects, nurturing her singing talent. She released the album Negatives in 2016. The same year, she lent her talents to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series as the character Ruby Hale. She even performed the theme song Born Ready for the Marvel Rising Secret Warriors franchise. It appears this multi-talented actor is taking the entertainment industry by storm. In interviews released through the years, Dove never ruled out a Descendants 4 movie. Just her contract being up with Disney Channel after the completion of Descendants 3 made her feel she could not have been included in a potential Descendants 4. Dove did not think the Descendants franchise was dead. but she did think a recast or reboot was likely. While she wasn't completely wrong, and more on this later, she's definitely coming back to voice Mal, thank God, as it's really hard to picture anybody else portraying Maleficent's daughter. Sofia Carson, Evie. Her role in The Descendants as Evie, the daughter of the Evil Queen, was one of the highlights of the series. She appeared in all 3 Descendants movies and became emotionally attached to the role of Evie. She saw the fellow cast members as family and would be forever thankful to have the opportunity to play a big part in the Descendants franchise. After Descendants 3 wrapped, she starred in 2019 as Ava in the series Pretty Little Liars: The Perfectionists. And she also appeared in the 2020 Netflix movie Feel the Beat. She also acted in Songbird, directed by Michael Bay, going toe-to-toe with big stars such as Demi Moore, KJ Apa, and Alexandra Daddario. Her talents also included dancing and singing in addition to acting, dancing on Broadway, recording multiple albums, and singing on several Descendants soundtracks. Throw in some modeling, Sofia is a talented dynamo. Sofia thought with the unexpected death of Cameron Boyce, the franchise changed. Although the cast could not imagine making Descendants 4 without Cameron, she never ruled that out of the realm of possibility. She loved her role as Evie. As she mentioned, it was a transcendental experience portraying the daughter of the Evil Queen. In an interview, she added that part of her certainly would love to continue to portray the character in some versions of Descendants. Well, guess what? Wish granted. Boo Boo Stewart. Jay. Boo Boo is a multi-talented artist that portrayed Jay, the son of Jafar, in the Descendants franchise. An integral role for the series as the lovable con artist with charisma to spare and an athleticism second to none. And this athletic brawn was not by accident. Boo Boo is a talented martial artist that won 2 World Black Belt Championships, and in 2004 was inducted into the Martial Arts Junior Hall of Fame. No wonder he masterfully plays a punkish, mischievous guy full of confidence about his skills. It also does not hurt being a handsome rising star. He was thrust into the limelight early in his career, when in 2004, he won a major role in the Twilight Saga Eclipse as Seth Clearwater. But for Boo Boo, that was a natural progression. A model at the age of 10, then signed to a recording contract at the age of 12. What were his limits? Not many, apparently. Coming from a family of stunt people, he was drawn early to the family business, as he participated in Robert Zemeckis' Beowulf as a stunt person. He went on record saying Heath Ledger's role as the Joker inspired him to seek out more interesting and varied roles. We've seen him recently in the Netflix film Julie and the Phantoms, and he also performed in such musical groups as Echoes of Angels and TSC, aka the Stewart Clan, formed with his 3 sisters, Megan, Fievel, and Sage. He is also an active philanthropist, helping PETA, muscular dystrophy associations, child help, and he raised money for Princess Margaret Hospital for Children in Australia. Needless to say, Boo Boo has many adoring fans, and they will be ecstatic to know that the son of Jafar has been confirmed to be back in the royal wedding. Mitchell Hope. Ben. An Australian actor and model, Mitchell Hope portrayed Ben, the son of King Beast and Belle. Mal becomes King Ben's girlfriend, and the pressures that come along with the position are one of the main themes of the saga. Ultimately, Ben proposes to Mal to make her Queen of Aradon, and it looks like we will witness them tying the knot in the upcoming royal wedding. Mitchell had roles in the short movies Down the Way and Yes Mum, both produced in Australia in 2012. And he then landed the role of Ben in the Descendants franchise. Following Descendants 3, he appeared in the main role of Tobin in the 2019 movie Let It Snow. Nowadays, Mitchell is also a strong advocate for the Cameron Boyce Foundation, whose goal is reducing gun violence and curing epilepsy. This does not come as a surprise, since Mitchell developed a strong friendship with Cameron during the filming of the Descendants franchise. Was Mitchell happy to come back for Descendants 4? You bet. He loves the benevolent Ben character he portrayed, and would love to continue playing the role. Among the OG protagonists of the saga, he is probably the strongest supporter of continuing the villain kid's adventures. Slated for making a comeback, we also have Sarah Jeffrey as Audrey, Melanie Paxton as Fairy Godmother, China Ann McClain as Uma, Jedediah Goodacre as Chad, Anna Cathcart as Dizzy, Dan Payne as Beast, Bobby Moynihan as Dude the dog, and Cheyenne Jackson as Hades. No word yet if beloved pirates Harry Hook and Gil will be back for at least a cameo. Is this really Descendants 4? Premiering in the summer of 2021, The Descendants Royal Wedding will focus on the upcoming wedding between Mal and King Ben. Disney Channel president Gary Marsh stated he hopes the animated feature will successfully introduce a new chapter of Descendants, along with compelling new characters. Now, it's interesting to notice that nowhere in the official material, the royal wedding is referred to as Descendants 4. Some fans speculate this might be because this animated movie will set up new characters and storylines that will propel the franchise in an entire new direction. A soft reboot, if you will. An animated movie could easily allow for a time jump in the future after Mal and Ben's wedding, introducing us to a new generation of villain kids. Maybe the very offspring of our favorite OG VK's couples, which coincidentally is a recurring plot in many of the most popular Descendants fanfictions. Some of them you might be familiar with, since we have entire video playlists dedicated to them on this very channel. Proof of this theory is also an interview from mid-2020, in which Sarah Jeffrey, aka Audrey, talked with Entertainment Tonight saying, and I quote, "It's such a cool world that they've created. There are so many different possibilities. I feel like a Descendants 4 could totally happen, but also a spin-off could happen, with new characters and new daughters and sons of princesses and princes and other villains. You really have endless possibilities there." What Sarah said seems to be in line with what Dove Cameron stated in the aforementioned interviews, with Descendants 4 being a soft reboot heading in a complete different direction. Thank God summer is close, so we'll get all the answers we need very soon. And what are your thoughts about the royal wedding? Are you excited? Would you have preferred a classic live-action movie? Share your opinions in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please put a like and consider subscribing and turning the notifications on.